Hello and welcome to the Hugh Hatrick Show. It's great to see you all. And we have our long-time guest. This is, of course, Neil Chandler from
Ta-da!
Not That Quick, although he really is. I was battling away earlier on today to try and beat you in qualifying. I'm trying to think if it was on the now was it race A or race B? I've done all three of them earlier today.
It might have been B.
It would be.
I don't think I qualified in C.
Right. Yes, but we're on the show. We are ready to go, and Rue is going to join anytime in the next few seconds. But we've had so many people wanting to be with us tonight as well. We've got Dutchy, who has sent us an email, so we're going to get him on the show. We might have to do a special time for him because he works in the evenings. And we've also had Greasy Sam Squatch all the way from Canada, who has been in contact with us. So he'll be coming on the show hopefully very soon as well, if not tonight, but in the next few weeks. But Neil, it's great to see you. It's great to have you on the show. And yeah, and I think yes, you've managed to come back to the madness that is the Hugh Hatrick Show. We had
have you noticed that where the magic happens? Rarely behind me, I have cleaned up after Larsen's teenage bedroom comment from last week. I have actually I've done some tidying.
Yes, it looks very tidy.
I did it whilst talking, which means
that's impressive. That's impressive.
Multitask.
And a multitasking guest.
Yes.
Good evening, all to you. Dutch is in the comments. PlayStation Racer is also here for a few seconds because he'll be streaming again soon. And we've got DTR Cars as well. So welcome to everyone. And of course we've got Jerry. Jerry was here, and Simon Jerry.
Is Dutchy coming? There's Dutchy.
Yes, Dutchy is here. Yes, and I know because Kiwi had invited Greasy Sam Squatch as well. Which was fantastic. So I really appreciate that. So there are going to be Rue's going to be joining us in the next few minutes as well. He's just getting the link sorted out. But what a week we've had! The race yesterday, that was a great F1 race.
That was a belter.
Yes, it was good fun. So we'll start talking about that in a wee while. And we've also got 3 great races on the GT7. What have they done? What's happened?
Right. Do you know what? I was saying this morning. So just a brief kind of rundown or just to get everybody up to speed. So last week I was slating Gran Turismo because by the end of the week I'd been murdered that many times. I don't think there was any part of me left. I've been absolutely battered for the whole week. And I thought, this is just awful. I'm going to go and play Assetto Corsa. So I signed up to this new sim grid thing that they've done on the console. And,
shut up, Neil.
I'm talking, Rue.
Sorry. Not sorry at all. No, I did it on purpose. I could see you were talking. No, not that one. God,
I wonder why that one's gone. What has happened here?
Oh no! That's far too close to my face.
Stop talking, Hatrick. What?
I'm talking. Anyway,
just a second.
I decided.
No, Hatrick, get you off the main thing and get your guests on. Come on.
I don't know what's happened to that.
Yeah, well, you massive.
Click something, you idiot.
We're relevant.
Put Neil in the. Make Neil the centre because he's the important.
Normally it works like this.
I
don't know why that's gone.
Yeah, that's okay. But can you make Neil?
Yeah, I don't know why that's
the main person because honestly, he's the most important. And his head,
I don't know what's that. Normally
not as shiny as yours.
This is a dope. Now we've both gone.
Stop talking, Neil, and remember what you last said because I've done that thing where I interrupt someone and it's bad.
Group layout, press Shift+3. Hang on, Shift+3.
What? Press some buttons. Remember what you said, Neil. Don't forget what you said. What you were saying was really good.
I've got it.
Telling you.
I don't know what's happened with that.
Whatever. Technology in you. Shut up. Get on with it.
Carry on, Neil. You were saying.
We love you.
There we go. Right.
We love you.
So I've decided at the back end of last week, I'm going to sign up to this SimGrid thing, pay money, get myself registered, which I've done. And then today's daily races come up, and everyone's brilliant. I've had I don't know how many races today, and they've all been clean. So what I've wasted my money now on this. Well, I haven't, because I'm going to do it anyway. But the races this week.
Wait. Quick question.
Excuse me.
You wasted your money on a brilliant race that was clean.
No. I've spent money to sign up to the SimGrid, which is
SimGrid. Yeah. I know SimGrid.
That guy that set up that thing. So I signed up to that.
Yeah. Josh Martin, Dave Perel. Yeah, we know them.
Yeah. Signed up to that, and then went and played Gran Turismo this morning, and all the races are brilliant.
Oh, Gran Turismo. Well, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
The way you said it was
all
like
of the races.
You went into SimGrid with they use ACC. Hugh.
But you can use it on console now. You see, you can now play it. You can now play
SimGrid is that ACC, right?
Yeah.
Shut up! You're not Hugh.
Yes.
Hatrick, I've got to give him a reason to be here. What? You think I'm going to be respectful? You're skinny. He's fat. I'm gorgeous. Shut up, both of you. Right, Hatrick, the reason you're here. So SimGrid with Josh Martin, who I don't like, and Dave Pro, who I love, that's based on ACC, isn't it?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, it is based on ACC.
Carry on, Neil. You're saying something brilliant.
Next time.
I heard that you were saying
I've finished what I was saying now.
And paid money for SimGrid, and you sounded really disappointed.
No, I'm not disappointed.
Really good racing.
I was just
okay.
I was really shocked.
I'm going to leave now. I'm going. I'm lying. I'm not going.
I was pleasantly surprised with how good the races were this morning. That's the point that I'm trying to get at. They were actually pretty good. Some quite clean races and quite enjoyable, which I think is quite rare on Gran Turismo because, in my experience, the vast majority of people on Gran Turismo are children who have run out of crayons to play with, so they've decided to play on Gran Turismo instead.
At the age of 29 or 50, yeah. They're all watching Schumacher and Max Verstappen, and they're going, not going to be second. Do I sound bitter?
Are we slightly referring to Verstappen's?
No, I'm not referring to anything. I'm referring to the comments.
Driving yesterday.
The comments. Awful. So, okay, because Hatrick has dragged me into this Monday night thing, I was going to try and stay sober, but it's not happening.
You know you're supposed to suck through the straw and not use it as a spoon, don't you?
Well, okay. I've got Stein.
Oh, wow.
And so I need to stir it with something.
What sort of pervert drinks beer through a straw? Why do you have a straw?
The people that need to mix. Well, you buy beer and then you need to make it cold, and your freezer's too slow. So you put ice in it and then you stir it. Pervert? How dare you? I'm not a pervert. Actually, that's not true. I am a pervert. I'm the kind of person, I'm going to kill this. So my telly, somebody needs, okay, this is a route, Hatrick, what did I used to do when I ruse request, a ruse request. How do you get your Android telly to stop having someone, in the vicinity using their Bluetooth trying to pair with it?
Oh,
it's happening right now.
Somebody's trying to
kick the door and murder them. I've got previous. I will kill them. Thank you.
How many of those stones?
No, I've got my telly on the wall over there, which I've got.
And somebody's trying to Bluetooth into it.
I'm not done with it anyway.
Oh, turn Bluetooth off.
Yeah. I've looked, and there should be a thing where you can block things with Bluetooth. There should be. This is really bad.
You can probably do it on your phone, but not on your phone.
My love, Neil, you
The
were saying
unique
something
meeting.
actually interesting and
I
intelligent.
was. Yeah.
And I've come in and I am drunkard and being.
Oh, you are drunkard. Ah, okay.
No.
Glad we've cleared that
Oh,
up.
God,
No,
yeah.
we weren't
Well,
sure.
you know, I used to be really embarrassed. I'd go back on Hugh's channel and there is a couple of streams. Hugh, how many? Maybe two?
Yeah, a
three?
few. Yeah, one or two. Yeah.
One or two.
But
Where I'd had a couple of Peronis, because Peroni and Asahi are really nice. And to be fair, Jonathan, who is a captain of an aircraft and really clever and not quite as bold as you two, but really, 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 really fucking stupidly intelligent and capable, and also the one that told me that a 360 was not actually a Volvo 360 was not actually a saloon; it was the 2-litre. I apologise to him, though. It's very embarrassing because not only do I ask Hatrick, I have a bit of a history of knowing a little bit about
the cars.
cars, but because I'm now Joe Biden, and I've got some kind of mental problem, and I want to go. Yeah. Volvo 360s. That meant the saloon. That, and also, I have a cuddly toy and I sniff people. You know, stuff like that.
I'm done.
And it's kind of embarrassing because, you know, Jonathan, there's a couple of things where Jonathan's really humble. And he's also the only one of us that's ever had a racing license. And he flies best of aeroplanes. And he's way too capable. And I hate him so much, but I love him so much. And he should be here now. And then
You might join us at some point. You never know. We might get him on.
Well, I hope so he can put me straight. Because
And it means we can fill the screen because we're lacking in a screen.
On the WhatsApp, he's gone very quiet. And I think he's upset with me, and I'm.
No, I don't think so.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Quickly, if
please.
I may interrupt.
Please do.
Does anybody have a clue what this guy's talking about?
No, from some of our oldest streams, because we've got my good mate John, who I've known from school, and we used to do our live streams together. You see,
They used to get bullied.
Yeah.
They're both quite posh. Okay, his dad. I'm from a council estate. His dad's a doctor. Like a GP doctor. I mean, I've got a problem with people being called doctor and being a medical person because medical people were not doctors. All right, so a doctorate. The word doctoris actually means to proclaim or to preach or to teach. So it was someone that had such a deep knowledge of something that they could teach other people. Which is why I have an issue when they go, he's a doctor. And I go, what? Physics? Maths? Chemistry? That's me.
Your favourite.
Shut up. It's not my favourite. I've got lots of
speciality. Speciality.
Yeah, well, all of my degrees are
very
from
quickly gone from a podcast about
this is why it's never gone from. What are you talking about? It's never gone from that. It's never ever
we
gone.
need to be sat around in a circle and introduce ourselves to talk about our problems or something.
Right. So the 20.
My name's Neil and I'm alcoholic.
I'm not alcoholic. Not yet. Give me 2 weeks. Right. For anyone that gives the crap, what the hell is that?
Back in the room, please, Rue.
Hatrick, 21st of August. Remember that date?
Yes. That was the first time I think you came on my show.
Yes.
Talk about Formula 1.
So that's our anniversary, 4 years ago, 21st of August. And from that day onwards, it was never the same again.
Yeah, no, we've had lots of good streams. So let me get this.
With me being slightly alcoholic. That's what my mother used to call it.
I'm amazingly impressed that he can remember that far back in that state.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Look at my calendar. I'm a nerd. What the hell are you talking about? I've recorded it.
Can I get this on?
Why wouldn't you? Why do you think I understood?
We can't go
Matt?
to commercial, unlike like CNN.
I'm going to be
and all that.
Matty now. I'm going to be Matty now. I'm going to do an impression of Matty. You two, I'm going to be an impression of Matty.
Yeah, Matt was incredibly reserved last week.
Neil, bless you. Shut up a minute. Neil, bless you. You were absolutely fucking gorgeous and wonderful trying to look after Neil. You're like his dad. He's only like 4 years younger than you, but you were like his dad. He's great. God, didn't he look like 21? Anyway, but the point is and I got a lot from the fact that and oh God, it broke my heart when he was talking about going to
Hockenheim
with his father. Yeah.
And with his dad, I don't actually know if this is I don't know nothing, but I guess his dad's passed away.
I'm not entirely sure. We're not sure.
No,
well,
something's
happened. Something's happened there because bless him, he was so full of emotion, remembering something he did with his dad. And I've got as a man that misses his kids and was that kind of dad, to have a child remember you so fondly is
a lovely thing.
Wonderful. It's superb. That fat baldy git over there with his kids who reads stories to them every night. Such a fantastic father. Such a fantastic father. He's never heard me say
nice having kids. It is lovely. I'm very fortunate.
Are you kidding me?
Wow. It is a lovely thing. That in fact he was here sitting in my rig earlier on, getting ready for the guests coming in, and he called me to say your first guest has turned up. Come on! And I was finishing stories.
Nick was nagging you. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I want to know, how's Gracie doing with her Gran Turismo? Is she interested in it or not?
She's playing a little bit. Now she can actually reach the pedals really well on this new rig. So actually,
and now she's faster than you.
No, soon she will be.
Oh yeah, probably.
Quite natural on it. She's
certainly faster than me. Has she learnt the skill of the? Okay.
I feel like this one might go on for a while.
You'd think if you gave her a mace, she would be able to wield it properly, like your darling wife, Yvonne, who I hope I never meet because she will kill me. We're talking rolling pins, you know. Oh, Huey, you're being too loud. Stop it, I'm from Glasgow, have you? Dish. You know, that's how it works. Has Gracie learned how to wield a heavy baton?
No, we have kept all weaponry away from her. That
it's natural. It's genetic, right? It's genetic. She's half Glaswegian.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That means she's able to kill people from the age of 12.
100% Scottish. She
with
is,
her mind. Anyway.
Yeah.
Why are we here?
If we can possibly get to GT7. Have you seen this week's races, Ruth? Have you seen this week's races?
Earlier I watched all of the weekend's awful racing, where someone was trying to race and Max Verstappen was strangely, it's like completely out of character for him, weaving in the braking zone and smacking people sideways onto things and then telling everyone. And Christian Horner was just so honest and forthcoming and not at all talking utter bullshit about anything. That's sarcasm.
He defended Verstappen.
Hey, America.
Well, I didn't see this bit. Did he defend him?
And also
he defended
London,
did he?
If you see London, it's in Britain, unless it specifies it's not.
Right. But yeah, but what was interesting? Can we cover GT7 first, and then we will get on to F1?
Can we cover anything? Just
for our poor old guests here, who must be wondering what we're doing.
Yeah, okay. Right, back to Neil. Thank you very much. I'll go very quiet now. Neil, who has definitely remembered what he was saying a little bit ago. Look at those eyes. Carry on, Neil. Thank you very much. Love you.
Over to
sorry,
you.
You know, oh God.
You
right,
just you'd bought
Gran Turismo.
Mhm.
So we got to the bit where I'd paid for the subscription to SimGrid. We'd done that bit.
Mhm.
Now we've come on to Gran Turismo. So shut up, Rue. I'm talking. This is me time. You've had your 5 years of general waffle. Now everyone can listen to me. I thought the races were going to be terrible today.
Yeah.
However, I was quite pleasantly surprised, I will say. I quite enjoyed both B and C.
Mhm.
Oh, man up.
We're all going to need therapy after this.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. I'm going to have to book in some extra sessions at least. However, yeah, I was quite pleasantly surprised. They've been pretty good, I think. Not as inventive or creative as I think they could be.
Yeah.
But I think, to be fair, not bad. Yes, we've still got 5 laps on hard tyres.
Yeah, racing hard, a bit of a pity.
It's on on a Focus.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, and I did what was fun. I did race A. I did the Ford Focus RS, and I've driven that car in real life a few years ago when it was out, a 2018 plate, and it was actually a really good car. I mean, it's like a little rally car, but you know, it's incredibly solid underfoot. The grip is phenomenal. The acceleration is good. Braking,
very snazzy
really
differential good in them. Very snazzy differential. Yeah.
And so when I drove it this morning, I was kind of shocked, because it was none of those things. When you drive it in the game, it was terrible. It was I don't know if anyone's been done race A today, but it's like the car, as soon as you back
in the Ford
off,
Focus, it's just the Ford. I'm looking at it now. It's just the Ford Focus RS, right?
Yeah, even at 50 miles an hour, when you back off, so the back end wants to come round, and it
2018. Is that the front wheel drive one, or is that?
No, I think it's four-wheel drive, and it kind of sorts itself out. I mean, it was a phenomenal car to drive. In fact, we have a funny story about that, because when we drove it at Company Car in Action about 6 years ago, Ford had it there, and they had a big screen that was showing you where it was going, so you could actually see it go around the Alpine route at Millbrook as it was being driven. And when Jonathan had when he had, and it was all, it had a limiter on it, and it told you straight away if you were going over the speed limits, because it obviously has 55-mile-an-hour speed limits on the Alpine route. Well, it was constantly flashing up in red.
Really?
So Greasy has caught up with us. Greasy has joined us. Good to see you, Joe. From Greasy Sam Squatch is with us. And get ready for a mad night here as we've got started. But yeah, so Jonathan said, can you please stand in front of the television so that people won't see me driving round as it all flashes up? So I had to stand in front of this monitor and keep the conversation going with the people who were running it, so that they didn't see Jonathan's lap of the Alpine routes in the Ford Focus RS, as it was constantly glitching and saying how fast he was going when he wasn't supposed to. But no, it's a phenomenal car in real life. But in the game, it's the weight transfer again. It's that GT7 issue that just goes mad. They just, every time you back off, even if you're remotely not on a straight, you've got a slight bit of steering angle, the back end just wants to come round, or it understeers, or it oversteers. It's quite a thing. I'd be interested to know what
physics.
Yeah, because it really put me off. Oh no, I'm never going to be able to get this right. But I actually beat the key. I beat Key's time, so he must be seriously unwell or something for me to get a better qualifying time than him.
But his defense,
I
think he went for like 32 hours or something stupid.
Idiot.
He did a stream, didn't he, over the weekend? He went from E up to A+ in one stream or something. He went for hours and hours, 27, 28 hours or something.
Goodness. Wow. Yeah. That is quite a thing. But yeah, so I actually beat Key on that one. I managed a 34-7, I think it was, in the end. So it's and there's a bit more time to come down in that one.
Josh Alexander did a 24-hour race, and it wrecked
Rory
him.
did it, yeah. Yes, that was quite a thing.
Josh Alexander, what the hell?
Rory did 200 laps of the Nürburgring in 28 hours.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
I've done 100, and that sucked. It was awful. It took me 10 hours and 45 minutes, and I did 100 laps, and it was horrendous.
Yeah. Yeah, you need a lot of concentration, isn't it? And also,
you become very aware very quickly after you've done 5 laps and you've been going for about an hour.
Yeah, you've got so much more to go.
And you just think, oh my God, why did I start doing this? It was good, to be fair. It was good. It was good. And the main reason I did it was to raise money for charity. And we raised well over 600 quid. So it was worth doing.
It was worth it. Aye. Oh, yeah,
but
absolutely.
I also killed myself in the process.
Yeah.
It was the first 2 hours weren't too bad. But I remember the middle section into about the 6th or 7th hour was really hard work.
Yeah,
really.
Well, it's a lot of constant. I mean, that's the thing, because not even in real racing, you have to take a break, isn't it? You do a 2-hour stint or something like that, or an hour and a half, and then that's you come in for a break. And of course, you've got to nip out for a toilet break as well, isn't it? So it's got all these kind of things. But no, it's quite. So yes, the race A is an interesting one. It's Sardinia version B, isn't it? They use that quite often. It's got some really tricky corners. But overall, I mean, I managed to eventually get into the 34s, which is not too bad. I think I was at the time of doing it tonight, I was 125th in the world, which is not too bad for a time. It's kind of for a fat man, an old fat man. It's all right. And I think there's a wee bit.
Hatrick. I just want to murder you at this point. You're like orkies. Oh, it's so shooting a gold time. Oh my God, it's so hard. I'm so crap. Yeah, 125th in the world.
Leaves me standing.
I thought it from 8 million people. Shut up.
I'll have to get back to my race guys.
I'm really pleased that I got into the 8.65% for something this week. I think it was the sorry, to me it's the Österreich ring because it sounds better than Red Bull ring. Fuck off. With the M3, and I managed to get to 8.65%. And then there's idiots like you and Arkeys and all being, you just do this, and you're drifting here.
Well, he does it on a pad.
I'm sorry,
it's hard on a pad. I mean,
yeah, exactly. He's brilliant, and you're brilliant. Shut up.
Too many hours playing games.
It's like you say. It's unusual if you're an outsider gold. No.
Does anybody else feel like you may have touched a nerve there?
Well, just me. I've done. I don't do it anymore, but I've done a few. The only kind of times I do any kind of like mano racing is with other people that I know.
Yeah.
Because if they are arseholes, you can get on Discord and tell them that I'm going to murder you. Properly. A bit like Lando this weekend with Max Swervy Verstappen, Schumacher Verstappen.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to the racing.
Mike Tyson said the problem with the internet is that people don't know what it's like to get punched in the face. Have you not? Seriously, Neil, have you not seen this?
He did an interview. I think I saw the interview.
This is a trope on comments on the internet that Mike Tyson came out with. The problem with people today is they don't know what it's like to get a punch in the face. And that's the problem with comments in internet crap. Okay? You're this, you're that, fanboy, hater. There's these tropes, these phrases, these words that mean nothing. It's just a poor excuse for having an opinion. Okay, if you're a Hamilton fanboy, I've been watching them. I've watched the highlights for all the races for the weekend, and so many people go, one guy actually was so racist. He comes out with, "Are you English?" Yes. Thought so. You're all awful. What? Because someone thought that Max Verstappen was terrible in the way he defended against the rules that were invented because of the way he was driving. And he didn't care.
They did change rules, didn't they, a few years ago when
they changed the rules.
Yeah.
They changed the rule because the Max thought that one move meant you haven't stopped your steering. I mean, Kimi, everyone loves Kimi because Kimi's fast and hard but fair. And I remember he was in, I'm going to say it's Melbourne. There's like a place at the back where they go through a couple of S-bays.
Oh yeah, the chicane. Yeah, kind of like it's like a fast
chicane. It's a great place to overtake because you set up an overtake and then there's like a right hander where you can get past people. Yeah. And I remember
Simon will know that corner.
I remember watching. Simon will, yeah. He knows. Simon knows all the corners.
In fact, we need to get Simon on the show. Actually, I think Simon would.
Yes, we do.
He would be.
Simon's been doing some fantastic videos of various places. In English heritage places we've been going to visit, and zoos and stuff. And we all know. Anyone that knows Simon knows that he's a zookeeper. Okay, so he's been doing some fantastic animal videos of zoos and all this kind of stuff. So I'd recommend Simon's channel. He does Red Dead Redemption, which I don't understand. Okay.
Oh no, it's very good. Right, let's get this back onto GT7, please. Then we will get on to F1 a little bit later on, and that. But okay.
Yeah, but okay. I mean, my point about GT7 is that there's. Yeah. I tried to market. When I gave it crap, I tried to market my channels to be the guy that understood that not everyone's as fast as Hugh Hatrick. Or Arkies, or Keys, and I have an issue. I have a real serious issue about channels of really fast people. I mean, it's great to watch them, but it gets a bit boring because they're just so good. I mean, I like Digit because he's kind of a bit more human than most people. I don't know if that... He's young and he's fast, but he's a bit more human. So, not that quick. Yeah, you really haven't been watching this channel very long, have you?
Sorry. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
Digit go? He's like in the top 10 or 15 or 20 people in the world on GT7. Okay, he's really fast, and yet he still finds people punting him off.
Yeah, well, it's quite often. I mean,
if you're at that level, in GT7, that you can't be safe from. Well, frankly, if you're in Formula One, you can't be safe from people punting you off. So maybe it's not so bad, but it's just.
Yeah.
It's.
Well, I mean, Neil's had perfect experience of that, isn't it? But especially when you're trying to get to the A level in Gran Turismo, and that bit between the top of B and then getting into A is horrendous. I'm at the very bottom of A, and because I haven't done that much racing recently. But you have to choose your races so carefully, and it is mad. I mean, I did that race last week at Goodwood, which I actually really enjoyed. To be fair, and I managed to get into the 29s eventually. On Friday night, I stayed up till about midnight to do it. But it was quite a good fun race. But it is kind of crazy, and people will just kind of bump you off. Left, right, and centre if they get the chance.
It's such a big gap. There almost needs to be like a B+ because it's such a big gap from B to A.
Yeah,
you can do a race in B and be sort of on the cusp of getting to A.
Yeah,
and your qualifying time will be good enough to put you, I don't know, maybe top 3 on the grid.
Yeah.
The next race, when you're bumped up to an A rating, 9 times out of 10, you're at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's such a big gap. It
I
goes
just
from
trying
being
to get race pace at that level.
It goes for
really
me anyway. I mean, it's not the same.
I'm the same. I'm the same with that with race pace.
It goes from being quite enjoyable to just an absolute sweat fest. It's so much of a gap, just huge skill gap between top of B and A.
Yeah.
Not skill gap, but a kind of I guess like a difficulty gap, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
But for me, from my experience, it's a lot harder. A lot harder.
Yeah.
You've got to be a lot quicker and a lot more consistent when you start getting into a raid race.
Because the drivers, the driving is getting a lot better, and they're on everything. You can't, if you make a mistake, you'll lose a place. There's nothing in it, which is good because that's it's competitive, and that's one of the best things about it is trying to keep up, trying to see, right, can I improve my racing enough? Because it shows you can maybe get a qualifying time that might get you up there, even in A, but then it's really hard to kind of stay there or go ahead from your position. But again, I suppose it comes through practice and making it all work. Now you've been doing race B this week. You started it this morning.
I've done a bit of both.
Yeah, race A and race B. And
no, B. I've done B and C today.
All right. Yep. So let's go to race B, which of course is at Lake Margiore, which they use many a time in different sections. But actually, we've got the full layer. I think it does suit Group 3 really well. Actually, I think it's quite a good track for that.
Yeah, it's a good track for Group 3, and I really like it. It's a shame that they've put it on hard tyres, because that circuit on soft tyres is brilliant, because there's a few sections where you can go through pretty much flat out.
Yeah.
But on hard
when you
tyres,
say hard racing, Neil?
Racing hard. Yeah. It's so much more difficult. You've got to be pinpoint accurate, and there's corners where you could really do with a grip.
Yeah.
And I know it's the same for everybody, because obviously everybody's on the same tyres, but I don't really understand why they put hards on, because it would just be more enjoyable.
Yeah, because it's a short race.
Everybody.
And it's a short race.
So it's 5 laps,
yeah, and it just gives you a lot more grip around some of these bends. That horrible bend is about maybe turn 5 or 6 down when you go down the bottom of the hill, and then you have to turn right there. It's so hard, especially in the 911. The back just wanted to swap ends with you, and you have to brake so carefully and then try and get the car around. And then, but if you accelerate well, if you can get a good speed out of there, you can make up so much time.
You need it's one of those circuits that on hard tyres you need to nail trail braking, because without it, it's it's so difficult to be quick around there.
Yeah,
for me anyway.
Yeah. I know it's a good challenging track, and the times are getting quite good. I think people are somewhere in the Tisdale's in the 55s. I think I did a 58.6 for me, but I know there's a bit more. There's a bit more time in it. I think I could get into the 57s if I could really put a good lap together.
I think I'm probably about the same.
Yeah. That and RL's done some good. He's done some very good times. Certainly, I saw his time in race C, and it was very a very good time in there as well. And race A actually he's done. We've been doing setting qualifying times. That but yeah, so it's actually quite interesting. I think race B and race C are much better than race A in terms of just the way that they've done the cars. I think they're just better suited. Because let's go on to race C. Now this is quite a decent. I mean, it's field of 1, tires at 1, so basically it's a flat-out race, isn't it?
It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Actually, I looked at it, and it was one of those where you kind of look at it and think, "Oh God, it's a specified car on sports tires, and this is going to be awful." And then you take part in it, and then actually it becomes quite enjoyable. I was a bit reluctant to try it today, but I went over there and did a few races and really enjoyed them. Actually, they were pretty good.
Yeah, I need to do it.
Murdered. I think I fell foul of the. Oh my God, he's got YouTube in his name, so everyone must kill him. There's me minding my own business.
Is that a thing? Is that a thing where
100%.
where if you see like a YouTube, if they know they're on YouTube, they just head for them.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Awful.
That's not the same on every race, but I've experienced it. I know I think every streamer has experienced it at some time, at some point. It's almost like there's a big target on your back, and there's me just driving along, and all of a sudden I'm wearing another Lexus, and it just to think, why, where has this come from? And it happened a couple of times today. I think it's quite enjoyable. I like Watkins Glen. Glen. That's the word I was looking for.
Really? Oh God, I hate that truck.
Yeah, I like it. But it's yeah, I think overall, I think it's a pretty good
difficult
race.
corners. I just hate them.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's got.
part.
I have to say, in the LFA, it's quite good. It's actually quite a nice car to drive, and it grips really well. Because you know,
I said that there's more grip than you think there's going to be. I thought
it's
it'd
quite
be
good.
like horrendous, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. No, because I mean, you know, when you get to the far side of the track, you can come down as that long kind of left-hander, and then you have that really kind of quite tight right-hand hairpin that goes up the hill, and it's very easy for the car to oversteer or understeer as you accelerate out. But I actually found that was quite straightforward in that car. Actually, it was decent. No, I think that's going to be.
I'm always that corner, that right-hander. I remember. I'm going back months ago now, but it was Group 3 around there, and it was a combination of medium and soft tires. And I think the BMW, I think the M6 was probably the car to use, or most people were using it.
Yeah.
And that had a tendency on that corner. Every other corner it was fine, but for some reason, that corner, if you're too early on the low pedal, gone. Wave goodbye to the back end. See you in a bit.
Yeah,
off it goes.
No, it was nice.
I can understand. I can understand that because if you're in a BMW and people are in front of you, you just put your indicator on, flash your lights, and if they don't get out of the way,
Yeah.
I can confirm that.
No one that drives a BMW has any actual skill apart from one person I've known in my personal life and me, because I drove his M3 and it was amazing.
I drive a BMW.
Oh, I know.
Do you? So sorry. What is it? What do you drive? What BMW?
It's a nice one.
Listen, I'm a proper car nerd, so 530.
2014 530 Touring.
Oh, nice. That is such a nice car.
Did I? 2014 or 2015? I think it's 2014.
No turbos.
Yeah,
no turbos.
Yes. Yeah,
no
diesel.
I think it's got turbo diesel.
Oh my! 5-year-old people understand that no BMW that's a 530 can't have turbos. Right. Welcome to old people. A 530 was a straight six with that was the petrol. 198 horsepower because German legislation stated that you couldn't have more than that or you get into another tax bracket. Okay. So it was a superb engine.
This is diesel.
Superb engine.
It's diesel. Yeah.
It's
mine's
a diesel. Sorry. I apologise. I ask for your forgiveness.
350.
Oh, because you've had it tuned, haven't you?
I had it tuned years.
Yeah. So
that's
two-stage turbo. So this is copying the Porsche 959, which had serial turbochargers, which is the first car in the world to have them, where you had a little one and a big one, and the little one went, and then it went.
He means sequential. Sorry,
do you not understand what serial in parallel means? Okay, so serial means
they're called sequential turbos.
They're called either.
Well,
honestly,
I'm calling them sequential.
You can call them what the hell you like. They are, sequential and parallel. Yes, you are correct. But serial and parallel is also correct because
he is right. I'm just being pedantic.
Yeah, of course you're being pedantic. Your ego's getting in the way. Get your baldy head. You've not shaved your head this week.
No, I haven't actually. No, that's very true.
Exactly. It's not as shiny. It's nearly not as shiny as mine. Shut ya. Big, gorgeous Oxfordshire. I think this is probably the right time to say that when I was asking you where you came from, when I didn't know, last week,
I remember.
And you got very upset, quite rightly. I'm with you on this. With this
Woody's
idiot.
Woody boy.
Talking about, are you from the Midlands? No, I didn't know. I would never have called you from the Midlands if I knew you from Oxfordshire. But when you said it, I was listening because I like accents, and you were doing some things that I'm going to do. This is a populist comment. The guy that does the walls in Jeremy Clarkson's farm, who goes, I could hear that accent. Now, I've had an issue for a very long time because I lived in Germany, and they used to call up. They say, "You speak the Oxford English," and it's like, no. And what you think, Mr. German, is Oxford English is not actually Oxford English. It's posh people from the university English. Okay? Actual Oxfordshire English is, well, like that fella that's been made very famous on Clarkson's farm. I got a bit of like, because as we know, England has a lot of accents. A lot of accents.
Can I?
So, no. So,
no.
I heard.
Murray Walker and James Hunt. James is hanging on to the microphone here.
I heard your Oxfordshire accent coming through, and I hope that makes you feel proud that you represented your area from an East Midlander hearing
I'm about to
an actual
massively burst your bubble.
Accent. Yeah, go for it. No, burst away. Carry on. Shut up.
You're not exactly. Both of my parents are from London, so that's kind of where my accent comes from.
Oh, my mum was from Dagenham. My dad was from Barnsley, and I grew up in Loughborough. So this is why I can do all these accents. So my mum, you know what I mean, Harry?
I would love to be able to.
Like this, you know, that's my mum, and I can do.
Although I do live in Oxfordshire, and I would love to be able to say that I'm proud of my. Well, we call it the Cotswolds. That's where they're from.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Excellent. No, got that. I could do that. Yep, I'm with that.
That accent that Gerald has in Clarkson's farm, that's a Cotswolds accent.
That's a Cotswolds, yes. Yeah.
They all talk like they honestly, and that genuinely, that is how they all sound. If they've all come from, Caleb's got it slightly, but it's kind of bordering on Gloucestershire, so they've got that kind of Bristolian kind of twang.
Yes.
Where it's like, all right, my lover, that type of accent.
My lover, what are you doing? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
got you.
That's where they come from. That's that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but that's what
Can we get on to cars,
I love
please?
about accent. This kind of like, I mean, listen to that tit in the corner, and he is in right. So an American listening to this would go, "Well, he's Scottish. He's got a brogue." Yeah, he hasn't. He's butters. Now, my ex-girlfriend, which Helen won't like me saying, my ex-girlfriend was from Galashiels, and she had the strongest Scottish accent, but it was definitely butters. Butters. No. Now, his wife is from Glasgow, which is what the whole world thinks is Scottish. You know, Ramsay does better. That's what people think is Scottish. But then you go to the islands on the west coast, which is, if you listen to the people that speak from the islands of the west coast, you can hear where Northern Irish comes from. If you mix Southern Irish with Scottish and you mix it all up, you get...
just say Scottish?
Scottish. Okay, yeah. 2 generations back.
God. What have I signed myself up to? I could be watching some sort of documentary on telly at the moment. But I've decided to join
You
an
wouldn't
AA
want to miss
meeting
this.
instead.
Yeah, it is lots of fun.
I don't actually
so
understand the problem.
That
I don't know the problem.
I
I
mean,
mean, my family,
can I make a request?
Ma is the East Braemar is where two generations
no,
back
not.
my family came from. So I don't understand that.
from the
But
Cotswolds.
I mean, oh God, I have so many problems when you see in these comments going, "Oh, hey man, you do the British accent," and it's like, oh God, you Dick Van Dyke, isn't it? The British accent. And I just,
my good friend Josh Martin has joined us. Josh, it is good to see you. Now, Josh is
yes.
He helped to found he's the founder of SimStaff.
Josh is one of the two main founders of SimGrid.
Yeah, with in Victoria. And yes, and also the SimGrid with David Perel.
Hold on.
SimGrid, yes, exactly. So this guy we were talking about.
Wait. Hold on. Shut up. Josh Martin helped found the SimGrid.
Yeah, with David Perel when it started.
So if you know him, can I have a free pass, please? Because I'm getting into that tomorrow, and it's been streamed to thousands of people.
I don't.
Well, Josh, if you're still watching,
if there's one thing I've learned about Josh Martin is, and admirably so, a proper businessman.
Yeah, he's very absolutely.
I mean, David Perel's a superb racer, and I'm pretty sure Josh's probably pretty fast. Otherwise, he's very good doing it.
He's done a lot of sim racing as well.
I will be streaming.
I don't know. I mean, I only know through you.
I can put you in touch
a couple of other interactions. He's a young lad. He's a young lad. He's younger than all of us. But with David Perel, he's built a damn good thing. You know,
I am very looking.
Josh has been on the show a few times. It'd be great to get him back on the show.
Getting into this. I'm getting into this ACC SimGrid thing tomorrow because from what I hear and from what I've seen, it's very good.
Yeah.
It is.
So I got a subscription over the weekend, and I've got myself all registered, and I am very much looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. I just wanted to get that out.
Right.
There.
So,
I'm not brown nosing.
What was the thing? What was the thing that SimGrid is now into, which is in my opinion, is a fairly big deal.
Yeah, well, they're basically competing with Gran Turismo 7, and they're putting on weekly races, on daily races that you can compete in. I think some of it's free, and then some of it you pay for.
You get quick races, or sort of quick races, or a quicker race. I think I could be wrong here. Josh might be able to correct me. That bit's free, but then you get proving grounds and enduros as well, which are slightly longer.
Yeah.
But both of those you need I think it's called a sim pass or a SimGrid pass. Which you need to compete in both of those. But it's the way that it's set up and the way that it works is brilliant. You find the lobby or you find the server and you're given a code which allows you access to that server or that race. Brilliant. Much better platform. So much better.
Yes, that's Josh saying. Yeah, no, it is very good because that's saying daily streams on AC now. Hugh, yes, I know because Josh
100%.
always pops in when we do the streams. I need to do it more because I'm bus driving.
You definitely do, but Hatrick, you know as well as I do.
We have to get back.
You are.
It's fun. It's good fun, and ACC is a good game.
But you're competitive when you've got someone in your ear.
And I got famous phrases as well, like, oh, come on now.
Oh, get stuff. I don't care about your famous phrases. Come on, big me up a little bit. What the hell?
Yes,
Who's your race engineer, Hatrick? Who's your race engineer? You go from 31st on a grid of 35, and then someone is in your ear, and then you're like third.
Yeah, we've done some
then, Hatrick? Come on.
Yeah.
I don't want people on my channel. I'm not big of myself. It's pure ego.
No, you keep me calm. Ego. You keep me calm there, Roo. That, but yes, So Josh is the man. If
Honestly,
you
it
want
was
to go on,
on.
can I quickly say before you say anything else? For Josh Martin, he puts on massive global events for like F1 sim racing. He did the Children in Need racing event as well on BBC television. They went around the country doing that. If ever you need any kind of major, like if you want to do a sim grid event or a sim racing event, Josh is the guy to speak to. Because he puts the whole thing on, and they're global. I mean, they're
Yeah,
in
they do
Japan,
superb job.
they're in
Superb
Germany.
job.
A really excellent job. And I'm not pushing for an affiliate link for Sim staff,
Yeah,
but
you're
no, he does do a very good job.
So from someone that's not that interested in sim racing, Josh and David, they're little. I'm saying, why did I say little? I don't even know how big they are. They're their company, SimGrid. They do a very professional and an excellent job, and it seems to be focused on the racers. Not focused on just
you get an experience when you play ACG as well with it. You get a real experience.
So with any kind of business, there's people that are trying to get money for money's sake, and there's people that try and do a good job and make money from the fact they do a good job. And I think SimGrid is one of the people that do.
I'm interested because I think the racing on Assetto Corsa is much better than the racing on Gran Turismo, hands down.
Yeah.
The problem it's had is it doesn't have the footfall that Gran Turismo has, because Gran Turismo is a more accessible game. People tend to flock towards the game that's more accessible. They can pick up a pad. But for somebody like me that is into motorsport, ACC is a much better game.
Yeah.
Now it's gone over to console, and they have that kind of accessibility for console players. I mean, I play it on PC as well, but now it's gone over to console. I think it's more accessible for console players as well, and I don't think it's going to take very long for the SimGrid kind of idea to start sucking people away from Gran Turismo. Not everybody, because obviously people are going to be loyal to Gran Turismo, which is fine. But I think the people that are more into motorsport and people that want to race properly, I think they'll move over to the SimGrid and over to ACC. That's my prediction. Could be wrong, but I think that's the way it's going to go.
Especially as GT7 is kind of getting older, and it's kind of
exactly. Well, this is something new.
It's getting older.
It's
getting. It's like they've lost touch. It's like Hollywood. They've lost touch with their audience.
For me, Gran Turismo's gone very flat and static at the moment. There's no creativity in it. It's just a copy and paste type race from 2-3 weeks ago.
Money grabbing.
The fact that the daily races on the SimGrid are updated daily.
Yeah, which is good.
Which is a huge plus in itself. I think that's going to attract a lot of people.
So is SimGrid available on the PlayStation, or is it just
So you go onto the SimGrid website, register on the website, get yourself all set up. It connects with your Discord as well, so your Discord will notify you. So if you enter a race or you register for a race, it will update you through Discord when that lobby is open or when the server's open, and it makes it feel like an actual race event. Which for people like me,
like you would if you were doing
actual motorsport.
If I was an old man and I had a couple of quid, was going to do something I'd love to do, some kind of like basic racing, I would get my car and set it up and all this kind of stuff. It makes it feel like that's kind of what you're doing without all that ridiculous expense of.
Well, that is the main, because I used to do proper racing.
Yeah, that's the thing. You've been an instructor, and
you are much more talented than me, sir. Obviously, very much more talented than me. I have respect for you.
But I couldn't.
You think I'm joking? God, I'm crap.
the financial kind of to run to run a car for a season, or a decent car for a season, you're looking 6 figures easy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to get into this is why sim racing is
so good.
It's so good for a lot of people because there's no overhead costs. You buy a PlayStation, a monitor, and a wheel, and a set of pedals, and off you go.
Yeah.
This idiot has said one of the best things this idiot has said. He said many wonderful things to me, and he's a wonderful man. I love him. But one of the things he said to me about sim racing, because I didn't even know it existed until I joined him 4 years ago. He said it gives you the opportunity to drive cars you would never be able to drive, and to race in a way you'd never be able to race in reality. You know, most people, even I mean, talk about Hamilton being from a poor background. He wasn't from a poor background. He was from a middle class background. Whatever they say. I'm from an actual poor background where you didn't have carpets in your home. There's no chance in the hell that I would ever be able to do motor racing.
It's
Hugh's correct. It gives us. I don't know how many of us are.
Well, I think this is the thing. We're motorsport fans, and sim racing allows us a chance to get involved. You know, so this is the thing. What allows us to almost live that dream of you're able to have a go and race and get quite a lot of fun and experience, and then also it draws you more into motorsport, and that's the great thing. Of I think, is that the violin that Simon has just put on the comment there? He's doing the violin story of the. It looks like when Rue was doing his no carpets in his house. But
Simon,
it's
what the hell?
so it's but you wouldn't get that on any other show for sure. But it does. That's what gives us our experience,
and I'll slap him around the head with it.
But look. I mean, there's a perfect example, though. I mean, Neil, you've now just gone to Sim Demon to do that video and test out their equipment, and so now you're able to do that. Your channel has allowed you to be able to get out there and do that, which is great.
It's open. To be fair, it's opened a lot of doors.
Yeah,
definitely opened a lot
so
of doors.
it's that's why sim racing is so much fun, and the connections that you make as well. When you get to meet these guys that are good at racing and what they do, and that's why I hope in the future we could put on a kind of sim racing expo in Britain, because I think we've got so many great communities. It'd be great to bring them all together and enjoy a big weekend at Silverstone or something like that, and have all the big streamers there and enjoy the racing, and you know and do something memorable, and make it something really special, because I think that's ultimately sim racing has to develop, and most people do it because they are real racers and they want to just get into racing. Ultimately,
well, this is something that Sim Demon are looking to get into. They're looking to hold competitions and tournaments and things. They've got a whole suite of equipment upstairs, and all of them can be linked together, so you can have races all together. They want to put on these kind of events. That's something I think is in the pipeline at the moment. But they run ACC amongst other things, but ACC is the main simulator that they use.
He wants a bus, and you know what? I think it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, well, now I've told Neil what I'm going to do. I think I've told you as well, Rue, what I'm going to be doing in the next few months. But we are finally,
of course you are.
We are finally, after how many years? If Josh is still watching, he'll know how many times I've said I'd love a sim rig center. Well, in early September, this is the big announcement. We are finally going to be putting some sim rigs into a gaming shop. I've finally been able to get it sorted out. So as long as it all goes ahead, so please, Lord, let's make it happen. We are going to be putting in at least 2 sim rigs, potentially up to 4, in a new gaming shop in Newcastle. So if you're around about the Newcastle area, once we get started, we'll be hopefully getting guests up. But you'll be able to come and play on our sim rigs. So it goes on. It's a big question as to, do I use console? Do I use PC? And what game potentially is the best one for that kind of thing? So yeah, it's all going to be there. But I'll be very excited about that because I'll be able to get out and do some videos out and about and streaming live, hopefully from the actual sector.
When are we going to when are we going to do that video you keep talking about going to the Goodwood Festival? Because honestly, I just think it's going to be great.
Well, this year, I think I'm not sure if we can do the dates, but I can make sure I do that.
Oh my god!
But no, it'd have to be next year. By the time it's all done, get it organised.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the Goodwood Festival of anything, any kind of Goodwood thing, is going to be sold out 2 years in advance.
Well, you can usually get it early, even earlier in the year, February, March time, April. In fact, they only just sold out quite recently, so it's not too bad. But Goodwood is next week, and the great thing about Goodwood is, of course, you can watch it live on YouTube because they do it the whole stream live, and you see so much of it.
Yes, they do. But shut up, because are you telling me that the sound of those engines, not modern F1, all the others, is anywhere near as good on a computer as it is in real life? Just shut up. You're just.
But to be fair, though, I think Goodwood does a very good job of trying to get it out there, and that means if you can't make it, you can at least watch it. And it is good.
Okay, so Simon's recommending the Silverstone Festival. Now,
that's the
I can go with, because
on the 3rd of August.
Probably I've never heard of it, so that means it's no one's going to go there. So I like the idea of us going to somewhere where no one goes. We need to make sure
Silverstone Festival is massive.
It's massive. I'm thinking.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Silverstone Festival.
Neely Chandler.
I might actually be able to go to that
festival. So let's.
I know a lot about Silverstone.
A major problem with being from Northamptonshire, but he knows everything about Silverstone things. Why is that, Neil? Tell us. Tell us why you know about Silverstone.
I worked there for.
You were there, and what did you do there, sir?
I was an instructor.
So you've got no excuse for being slow. I hate you.
No, driving on Gran Turismo is far different to driving a real car. That's one of my biggest issues with the game. Nothing. They call it the real driving simulator. Nothing like it.
No,
it's probably easier in real life.
It probably is actually.
From my experience, driving cars on track days, it is easier.
I should be doing that. Okay, so I should have it reversed, but I didn't want home office backwards. Anyway, right. So, Hatrick, I know that you have agreed with Neil. Neil, I know you've talked about this in the last. What's the word? God. Stream last week. Shut up. I'm old and crap. So, shut up.
Steaming.
Steaming. Shut up.
Carry on.
Yep.
Stop interrupting me, you old woman.
Right, come on then.
Anyway, so, Neil.
Yes.
I completely agree with you. 100%. Actually, hold on, wait a minute. Let's just do the
other side. Yep.
He doesn't like it. I've repeatedly said that Gran Turismo is not like real driving.
No,
because the only thing you have is steering feedback, and the steering feedback, it changes every time they do an update. I mean, they've done a recent update. I've lost PlayStation Plus because I didn't pay because of money, but I went on there because of this idiot telling me I have to every Monday be vaguely intelligent, and I started doing it again. And honestly, in this last week, since the last update, the steering feel has changed. It's got a lot better. A lot better.
It has
in
got
this
better.
last week.
I think
yeah. I'm just saying this last week, literally this last week, it's kind of like, oh, wow, okay. Well,
I know they did a big update.
It's not great, but it's okay. It's better than it was a week ago.
Last year they did a physics update and completely changed it. Matt completely.
Yeah, they did, and it got really bad.
And I think it. Yeah, I mean, I think it was changed for the. I think the change was worse.
They changed it to make it feel to GT3 play it. Oh, GT3, what the hell?
I mean GT Sport. GT Sport.
Yeah,
you
thank you. GT
can
Sport
just cut cars around.
There was when GT7 came out, it was in the world of games. Not that I've got much experience, but in the world of games, it was superb. It was great. I really liked it. I could feel what was going on. I wasn't fast. Don't get me wrong. I'm still crap. But I enjoyed it. That was the point. I enjoyed what I was doing. I wanted to go back on that rig. I wanted to play more. He's sat in front of his rig. My rig's over there. I wanted to do it more. And then GTS players were going, me. Honestly, I wanted to. I don't know where these people complain to, but I want to complain back. I want to complain back to these idiots. It's like the 5 people that think Joe Biden's a great president of America. Girls I sniff, that kind of stuff. It's like, what the hell is going on? No one gets any kind of feedback.
That's for a different
show. It's got nothing to do with reality. It's got everything to do with feedback.
Yeah.
So who is feeding back? I don't know how to feed back. I would have told them, stop listening to these morons and just keep up with the great physics. Yeah. But no. They were like,
I think they always trying
because you've got to have the physics of the people that complain a lot. What, the people that's never, the 14-year-olds that never driven a car, get lost. Teach them how to drive, is what I say. Stupid. Yeah. So it's got worse, but it's a little bit better now since the update of a week ago.
I still think they need an update. On if the guy from Polyphonies are watching and listening, I would say the next update they should have terrible cars. They should have terrible cars. We want the Lada Riva. We want the FSO.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
We want episode Polonez. No, we've got to have one.
The Skoda.
Polonez. I buy it immediately.
The old saloon one that they used to have. The Estelle and a few other. We need bad cars. We need
the only use for a Lada Riva is to be doused in petrol, set on fire, and
young person with too much money.
Yeah, Austin Allegro. That would be a good one. That would be a great one. Oh, it'd be fun. And the Marina, honestly, you've got to have a Marina. If you've got an Allegro, you've got to have a Marina.
Patrick knows this. I had an FSO Polonez, a 1.5 GLE, 5-speed. Sunroof.
That was the way to climb out of it. That was it when it rolled. It
was made out of armor plate steel. Honestly, I could hit someone and he wouldn't know.
Very heavy.
You wouldn't know.
Understeer.
There was only one car that ever overtook me on the A470 on that car. One car. Shut up.
I think we should have the old Datsun Sunnies and things like that because they were quite fun. But no, I think we need kind of everyday cars that people might recognize, like almost like the Ford Fiesta.
So
we've got a Ford Fiesta.
You ask me, so how I ended up in Whitley Beer and Whitby, and it was
one thing.
Like, can you? Sorry, just on this.
Just on that subject. On that subject, Polyphony Digital haven't listened to any member of their community since the game was launched. If they watch this video and they take note of you saying we want old cars back and actually do something about it, I will drive to Scotland and I will make you wear that rig.
It's not in Scotland. He left when they made everything illegal for being
no. They do updates. And what did we get? A Volvo 840 Estate, brilliant. That'll come in handy. Or a PT car again, brilliant. Thanks for that. That will come in handy.
It was more fun. The 240.
They made a 240. What the hell? The 240 was in like the. Was it two
Was it a
updates
240
ago.
or 240?
It was a 240 estate.
No,
It's been
240. 240
yeah.
estate, a 2.3
a
litre
classic.
or 2.1 litre straight four with a massive
with
boot,
wheels on.
and it was made out of industrial strength iron block.
Yeah, but actually, it was a better car. I still need to find that picture and be able to share it. Of me
Still
being
better than most modern
the
cars.
cartwheel in the Volvo
Work
240.
and it
Because I did that on Gran Turismo. I managed to do a cartwheel in the 240. I took it to Colorado Springs. I made my own race, and I managed to go over a bump in such a way that I did a cartwheeled across. It was quite spectacular, actually. I was trying to get the replay.
That's talent. That's
I know
talent.
it was quite fun. But no,
Look at
there
the
is a thing
comments.
though on GT7 that you want a bit of fun, and sometimes,
Look at the
especially if you're doing bobby racing, if you have some really bad cars as well, that they can put them on funny tires, you can have a bit of a laugh. I think it would be because Tesla used to do that. Used to do a lobby, and you'd have the Mini Madness, so they'd all be in the old minis, and they were
Yeah, yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. No problem.
It was
No
great
problem
fun.
at all.
That kind of thing is what. You're being asked by Simon, what is the plane in the picture behind you?
What?
You're being asked, what is the plane in the picture behind you by Simon? GBRC is good. Is here. Good to see
Are
you.
you out of your mind? What the hell? Are you
that a
seriously
Harrier?
asking me
Simon,
what
is
that
that
is?
Yeah, he
Are
wants to
you
know.
seriously asking? You're on the Norfolk coast. You're of a similar age to me, and you're asking what that is. There's no other plane on the planet that looks like that. What the hell? It's an English Electric Lightning. The reason I know that plane is because in Mablethorpe, as a child growing up, I used to watch them flying over me in Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
Yes! The Lightning! I've kissed the prototype in Manchester. I'll be kissing it again this week.
This
Idiot.
is water, Roo. Water.
What?
Much better for you.
Oh,
Much
shut
better.
up. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're tiny and young, and you don't know what a lightning is. Do you know they talk
You
about
can
the
tell
F1?
me.
You know they talk about the
Hugh is sober. I am sober because we drink
I
these.
will forgive you, Simon, because I love you and you're brilliant. Right, you, Neil. Idiot.
Yes, Roo.
Holy bastard. Right. The lightning, the Americans said we couldn't do it. No. The Lightning was the first plane in the world to supercruise. Supercruise is where you can go supersonic without afterburners. The Lightning was the fastest plane in the world ever for like a hell of a long time. And the Lightning is amazing. No, there's no plane on the planet that looks like the Lightning. It's look it up. So the F-15 Eagle had the record for going, climb. Okay, so there was one Lightning that was a bit hot, shall we say, hot, and they had a race with an F-15 Eagle, which bear in mind that the prototype Lightning went supersonic in 1955, so a couple of years ago. The lot and the Eagle was 1970s, so they had a race, and in the words of the Ministry of Defense, the Lightning didn't lose.
And GBRC has just added
1955. The aeroplane from 1955 didn't lose. The U-2 spy plane, which couldn't be reached by anything, the same plane, the guy had to have a spacesuit on, but he flew up, waved at the fella, and then came back down. It's like...
Now, GBRC has just said, then the American...
This is an example of what the Brits can do if they're allowed to without arseholes telling them they're not allowed. Okay, we would have been the first country to go supersonic. The Miles M52. that Miles was 3 months away from going supersonic without rockets. This was jet powered.
Yeah. Well,
the Americans found
there we
out
go.
about
And,
it. They pulled in there. They pulled in there. What's the word? Muscle from us owing them billions for World War II, which they didn't just give us. They wanted payback for that, right? You understand that? And so a bunch of people came to the Miles project. I've seen the interviews and went, well, it's like a collaboration where we're going to swap our information, where we swapped it with them, but they didn't swap it back. The X1 kept crashing because of when you go supersonic, the control planes don't work. Mr. Miles, worked out that you need to have the whole tailplane move instead of like the bits of it. 1 year after swapping one way the information, the X1, the Bell X1, suddenly have fully controlled planes, and Chuck Yeager went supersonic. Like 6 months after the Miles project would have gone supersonic. Okay, so effectively, the government sold out everything that we had. We were literally post-war the top people in technology for aviation, and the British government went, "Yeah, we'll just give this away, give that away, give it. Yeah, it's great, it's fantastic, wonderful, fantastic."
Yep. No, it is.
Wonder why I'm a bit annoyed. Me and about
I know that Jonathan managed, nearly managed to get on a Concorde trip from London to. Very rarely did they ever do a London to Edinburgh trip. One time they had to take it up there, but unfortunately couldn't quite do it. Him and his mum were going to try and get on, because I think it was like literally, it was even that was like £1,000. But it was a special trip, but they were offering it out to people to go supersonic from, well, or not supersonic, but to fly from London to Edinburgh. But
GBRC EFC 124 saying that SR-71 was the first supersonic plane. No.
Are you
no.
sure?
Not even close.
Not in the
Not even close in terms of America. In terms of America, the Bell X1, Chuck Yeager, look up your own history in America. No. No.
When we were talking about Gran Turismo and F1.
Can we get back to that? That would be really good. That would be great. I'm going to have to do a lot of it. No, absolutely not. Because you know what? This is not what this channel is about. This is not in the 4 years I've been on it. Okay, I'm just trying to, because people have tuned in for GT7 and F1 tonight. So why don't we get on to F1 now that we've done Gran Turismo quite a bit? So we should maybe get on to F1, and I think that would be great if we could. So did you see the race, Neil, yesterday?
I did. I watched it from start to finish. Oh, he's off. Oh, good.
He'll be back.
Yes, I did watch it from start to finish. I thought the beginning was a little bit.
Yeah, it took a wee while to get going. Yeah,
wasn't it? You know, it was just your typical. Well, Max Verstappen's got to the first corner first, and now he's off.
Because he went to get quite to build up a bit.
I think he got about huge. Yeah, he got about 6 or 7 seconds, didn't he, or something like that?
Yeah,
and it looked like it was going to sort of play out the way that it normally would. He was going to win, and then Norris would probably come second, and you know, people would sort of trickle out, beyond them. Then the Verstappen and Norris battle commenced, and all of a sudden, every F1 fan in the country started paying attention.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, Lando found some pace, or Verstappen lost it, and he was that was it. He was within DRS range, and that was it.
Yeah.
Game on.
I think it was from with the pit stop, wasn't it? Because they came in for the pits,
Yeah,
and Max had a really poor pit stop, and then the McLaren had a slightly better pit stop. Well, it was like it was like 2.5 seconds, and I think
he lost quite a bit. Yeah, he lost quite a bit.
So all of a sudden they were within 1.5 seconds going out of the pits, and then he seemed to get the pace as well. I think the McLaren takes a while to get its tires sorted, but it does tend to look after them better. So it's always better at the end of the stint.
So.
And
I think so.
So then they caught up, and then of course Lando had to go, which he'd failed to do the day before on the sprint race, where he'd had to go, and then he got kind of caught out, and Verstappen
he couldn't get close. He couldn't get close to Max there.
Yeah, so it was. But I've
been reading a lot of the comments, and Hugh, you know about this. You know about this already. You know that I'm really very annoyed with this phrases like fanboy and anything like that. I just switch off. It's so annoying. It's like hater or fanboy, hater, anything with ist and phobe behind it. It's a cheap and easy way of avoiding. You and I met on Facebook.
Yeah, on F1, the Facebook F1.
F1 Facebook. So I was on Facebook and I was trying to find ways to sort of integrate or connect with the Facebook community with F1. And it was so ridiculous. In those days, it was Vettel versus Hamilton. Oh, you're a Hamilton fanboy. Oh, you're a Vettel hater. Oh, you're English. Oh, you're not English. You know, it's like the most ridiculous ideas of what constitutes a real discussion, you know, a proper discussion of what constitutes a good race, you know? It's like, how does that matter? Where you're from, what you if you can see skill. I was looking for skill in.
Well, I mean, it's good to have this. I mean, the thing is, I suppose at the end of the day, you know, the start of the season, the Red Bull's been so quick. He's driven off, 20 seconds into the distance.
Yeah.
And for a race fan, you think, oh goodness, this is going to be, because that's what happened last year and a bit much the year before.
And as much as I don't like the idea.
Yeah,
Max Verstappen is astonishing.
Yeah,
I mean, he is.
He's very skilled, and he will go, and he's up for the fight.
Incredible! Yeah. What he does.
What I would say though,
with the car is.
Can I go into it wasn't the controversial bit, but when he had that move across and he hit Lando, or Lando couldn't really avoid him, to be fair, the way he'd kind of come across to them and caused the puncture, and then the two of them kind of tangled a wee bit, and then they both went back on the track. Now, what I didn't like was the fact that Verstappen went, pretty much drove Lando onto the grass to try. He really refused to let him pass.
Have you seen Sky F1's Anthony Davidson?
No, I saw that. I did see the thumbnail of it, but I haven't watched it, because it was he was explaining what happened.
Anthony Davidson, and I like Ant. Anthony.
He's usually quite
I've followed his career and all this kind of stuff like that from back in the day when I gave a shit. And he showed, once he got all the crap out of the way, he actually showed everything that happened in all of the overtaking maneuvers.
Yeah.
So, in the last manoeuvre, the one that caused the problems, the punches and all that kind of stuff, Max went to the inside to cover it, to defend. Perfectly normal, no problem. So, and I've seen so many people call it a dive bomb. I don't understand why they think it's a dive bomb, filling the gap on the outside. So he goes to the inside, and Anthony Davidson draws a line on the screen, according to the rules of the FIA these days, where everything's got to have a rule, you need to leave one car's width on the track.
Yeah.
So you got the white line, you got Max's car. There's more than one car's width there, so Lando fills it.
Yeah.
Then Max goes across and pushes him off the track. It's really
Lando's
clear.
very
There's no crapping about it.
Yeah.
It's on the screen. There's not
Yeah, well,
even
you can see
helmet cam. You know, this
you
ridiculous,
can see the fact he comes right across.
impossible helmet cam where you can see nothing because of vibration.
Yeah.
Though, I don't want to say this, but you know, if you had a helmet cam, it would show you how hard it is to see what's going on. But real human eyes and cameras are not the same.
He's a racer, and he's going to put that. That was kind of You know, that's what Max is going to do.
He moved across and he pushed him off a good foot.
Yeah.
2 foot over.
Yeah.
And Lando moves across to try and stop hitting him.
Yeah.
It's really clear. Verstappen moved over for him. He moved
I think
over to push him
has it
off.
not been a FIA? Now, has he been penalised in any way? Because I saw a couple of
Nothing's been
headlines.
said yet.
I haven't seen any more.
No, nothing's been said yet. But that's not to say that nothing is being done.
Yeah. Because I wondered. I saw a headline today about it.
There's 3 instances in that one corner where he broke the rules.
Yeah.
On the entry to the corner.
Yeah.
During the corner. And on the exit. So he's gone into the corner, he's gone to the inside and he's covered. He's then moved under braking, which you can't do. There's rule number 1 broken. The second rule he's broken is he hasn't left a car's width. That's before he's even got to the apex. Then at the apex of the corner, he steers out to try and stop Lando going around the outside of him. So he doesn't leave a car's width there either. And then further down, out of the corner, he then moves right and doesn't leave him a car's width to the right-hand side and runs him onto the grass.
Yeah.
And that is purely down to a lack of maturity in driving. Now, that somebody's just said, and they've made a very good point in the comments.
Well, I can see he'd be annoyed at because he's thinking Max has pushed him off or caused him.
He doesn't want him passed. And what's happened is
he's been driving for 5-6 years now. And there's no lack of maturity in driving. It is an attitude which he's shown from the minute he came in F1. Do you remember all these comical Kimmy comments about that fucking bastard? I made a joke last week about him having this thing about how one movement, as long as the steering wheel stopped. I've got it in my head where I think it's Melbourne, where you go round a particular right-hander. It's a place where people keep overtaking, and he would do this to stop it happening. And Kimmy was coming up behind him, and he was like this, and he did it all the time. He had it's like Schumacher. He didn't give a crap. I actually think Schumacher was safer because Schumacher would only do it in places where it was potentially safer. Max
like a hairpin
does not give a crap. Well, I mean, do you remember in I'm going to say Manicourt? Is that the French circuit?
Oh, yeah.
The Tesco car park we're using now.
Schumacher and Senna had a big crash there, and back in '92.
Oh, not Senna. Shut up. DC, my favourite. Do you remember? DC's coming past him, and he knocks him off the circuit, and he comes round, and then he finally gets past him because apparently DC's rubbish at racing, so he bashes past Schumacher, the rubbish at racing man. And then gives him that as he goes past.
Yeah.
And afterwards, because DC's the consummate professional, goes, I was telling him he was number 1.
I know that's it.
Schumacher,
But it's
I mean, even when he did it to Villeneuve in Hungary, it was somewhere where it wasn't going to cause death.
yeah.
You know,
Oh, when
Max
Villeneuve
doesn't
did
have.
it, yeah. When Villeneuve
Max
did that to
doesn't.
Hill, or Hill did it to Villeneuve really at Hungary
What the
in
hell are you talking about? No,
97.
no. Schumacher did it to Villeneuve, and Villeneuve,
Jerez.
because he's cray
Was that not in Nürburgring? Was it not Nürburgring? When
No, that was
No.
Jerez. That was when Villeneuve was at Williams. They come into a right-hander at Jerez.
Right. Yep. I know,
And
yep,
he turned in.
right.
He turned into him
It was
when
Hungary.
Yeah.
It was Hungary, and they went into a right-hander, and Schumacher
Jerez.
turned across him, and Brundle said, "That ain't going to work, Michael. That ain't going to work." Because instead of hitting
he
the wheels and stuff,
he didn't actually
the
think.
pod,
Apparently,
the side pod.
Ah.
he actually said
Go on.
he had a meeting with the officials after that happened, and he denied all responsibility. He completely flat denied, this is not my
What
fault
a shock.
whatsoever, and he was disqualified from the rest of the season for that. He got into a huge amount of problem. And I think it was kind of a wake-up call for him. If you watch the Schumacher documentary on Netflix, it shows you, it gives you a really good insight on that. And if anyone hasn't seen that documentary,
I need to go watch that. Actually, I've not watched it.
Brilliant! It's so good.
It's been the only good thing on Netflix.
I actually like Schumacher more now than I did.
Yeah.
They had it on there for a while,
It makes sense.
and then it got taken off, and now it's been. I think it's something to do with licensing, but they've put it back on again now.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
They've cut a chunk out because in the original documentary there was a whole section of when he came out of retirement and went back to Mercedes.
Yeah,
that whole section has been removed.
Yeah,
so it goes.
Which I actually really loved that period when he was in Mercedes.
Yeah. He did that
because he was using all of his wiles. All of his wiles. It was like fantastic seeing the skill of Schumacher in a car that was not competitive to get the best out of the car. I remember I think it was Monaco.
Sorry, Neil was just in the middle of finishing a sentence about.
I'll be very
sorry. Yeah, okay, cool.
Neil, carry on.
He got that 7th world championship for Ferrari, and that's kind of where the documentary sort of ends, and people say, you know, a few bits and pieces about him, and I think they're right in what they're saying. His driving changed a lot after that 7th world title. It's almost like I've proved what I wanted to prove. And then he announced his retirement and everything, and I think he kind of felt like I've done what I need to do. I don't think him coming back to Mercedes was.
Although he did get a pole position in, was it not Monaco?
He did okay. But
the car wasn't great. I mean, the car really wasn't great.
That was it. I think that was it. I don't. The car wasn't. It wasn't
kind of middling. It was a middling car.
They got the best out of it when they could.
Incredible. But yeah, he and I think it was Monaco where he wouldn't. I think this is where I remember him holding people up. You know, see, I have issues with this last weekend where they were saying he wouldn't let this person pass, he wouldn't let that person pass, and I'm like, what the fuck would they let people pass? It's racing. What the hell? Why would you let someone pass? One of the incredible skills of a really good racing driver is not letting people pass. You know, making it hard.
It was within a sportsmanship kind of structure.
Yeah. In a sportsman type way, you just make it really hard. That's a skill, man. That's a serious skill. Well, to put your car in the right place to stop people being able to get past without compromising your speed too much. That's a serious skill. And I remember watching that. I mean, I've given up the past 2 years. I've given up with Formula One. But that was when I'm like, that actually was when I decided that Schumacher was pretty good. You know?
Yeah.
I was really, I wasn't someone that hated him, but I really didn't like him. I didn't like him at all.
Well, you know what I thought was great was many years ago
when he showed that level of ability to at the end of his career, when he wasn't getting the fastest times and he wasn't the best and all this kind of stuff, to be able to keep someone behind him.
Yeah. Well,
Come
Hamilton
on.
and Schumacher had a.
You know what? This guy's really good. Yeah. Sorry,
Can I
what I'm saying.
Hamilton and Schumacher had a great battle at Monza. I remember they were coming out of, was it the first chicane, and then they went round that right hand bend, and they accused Schumacher of blocking and all sort of weaving. But when they at the end of the race, Hamilton was interviewed, and he said he loved it. He said that's what he wanted. He wanted to battle away properly. And
this is
all
one of the few things
they were all making wasn't really required.
Yeah.
This is one of the few things I've thought that Hamilton. I've not had a lot of respect for Hamilton over the years. I've been severely disappointed over the years with his performance. He should have been a rookie world champion. He should have been. Hugh, you and I have talked about this privately about this, right? He should. 4 races from the end of China showed that he was not mature enough to be a rookie world champion. He should have been a rookie world champion in China. All he needed to do was not have this psychotic thing about being first, winning at all costs. He needed to have, and I remember the interview with Jackie Stewart afterwards and before, where he said, because Jackie Stewart was the consummate cerebral champion. You know, he so he had it there. He was so clever. He was so capable, so intelligent. He knew that the goal was with the world championship, and you do what you have to do, even if you have to come second or third. But it was big.
I think because I remember watching that in 2007, and I heard all the hype about Hamilton, and he was phenomenal in was it F2 or the old whatever it was, F3000, whatever it used to be called, or the F2. It was brilliant, or GP2 it was. I mean, he did. I remember at in Turkey, he was leading the race. He was up in the well up the front, and then he spun out, and he was down to last, and he went from last, I think, to third place. In this race at Turkey, and he showed then that he was right up there. I think he won the title the year before. So when they said he was potentially coming in 2007, we were all like, "Oh, fantastic! He's going to be soon." And he was amazing. I mean, that first start in Australia,
you know, he knew what he wanted.
He went from fourth place in Australia, I think, to second at the first corner, and he overtook Alonso, his teammate, at the first corner in Australia. So that was the start of beating your teammate from the word go, which didn't help the relations. But
Alonso,
we all know
Alonso.
He left at the end of it because he had enough. So there's no doubt about it. He's got an incredible skill. But in 2007, it was amazing watching him because every race became, it kind of came alive because he was leading at some point. He was battling for the championship. And I remember China was so difficult because he was on the last bit of his tires. I think he'd stayed out longer than anybody else on those the slick tires or something. And and then eventually, of course, he came in and there was nothing left of his tires, and he understeered off into the and we're all eager and almost say, come in this lap, come in, you've got to come in, because if he did that, it was touch and go. It was touch and go, and it would have been spectacular if he
one lap earlier. If he'd come in one lap earlier, he'd be the world's first rookie world champion. One lap.
Yeah. No, it is. I think
one fucking lap. One lap.
I think a lot of the problems that we have had today as well, or now in his racing career now, is that since Abu Dhabi 2021, I think it took him a long time to get over that, because it was a huge loss. I mean, it was a massive loss, and I think a lot of the fans were affected, and then he probably got a bit distracted, because if you're in that kind of position and you're about to get your 8th title, and it's kind of taken away from you.
I'm gonna disagree with you now. I'm going to disagree with you. Do you remember those years? No, but come on, Hugh. Drunk or not drunk, I'm not an idiot.
No.
You know me well enough that if I'm going to express an opinion is going to be something that's got backup. Okay,
Yep.
so
Yep.
I thought it was amazing at the start. Was incredibly disappointed when he didn't, he screwed up the end of that 2007 season. And it's like, oh God, I thought it was amazing, and I thought it was going to be brilliant, and all this kind of stuff. But I flipped. I flipped when he was partnered with Button in McLaren when McLaren was not as good anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So he spent a couple of 3 years with Button, sometimes not as good as Button, sometimes better than Button. Whatever happened in those years, Button was really good with strategy, looking after his tyres, just intelligent racing, instead of just, one lap fast or aggressive overtaking. Because I think a lot of people forget that Lewis Hamilton was the guy that everyone complained about because he would carve past people in stupid places when nobody else could do it. He had a real feel for the
Raikkonen at Monza. He came right from miles back and came into the chicane, the first chicane at Monza.
I remember Mark Webber complaining about him because, oh my God, mate, he's just like going past people in the wet, this is where he got.
Silverstone 2008. Silverstone 2008 was an incredible race.
That's
yeah.
Yeah,
and they don't get in.
The exact time, but that's the one I'm thinking of.
From after the first lap, didn't he? He almost got his teammate on the straight, but I think he got it by the end of the first lap. He went from fourth to first, and then he drove away.
And he had an incredible feel for the car. That thing that I pretty much now I don't have. But actually, I think I might have that, but I don't have any speed. I don't know if that works. But he was so good. He was just so good, man. He was so good, but not. He had these things that were just not quite. He made mistakes. He allowed. He allowed.
Well, I think every person have their.
We've talked about this. Jackie Stewart talking about how emotion kills your speed. He allowed emotion, and I'm not criticising him for it because show me someone that says they've got no emotion. I say there's a sociopath. So, no, seriously, that's the definition of a sociopath is no emotion. So no empathy, no something like that. So Lewis was amazing, but he still made mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's a great thing for a champion because you can see that it's like Hakkinen. You remember Hakkinen with his 2 world championships? So fast, but he screwed up and he would go nuts. You remember that one?
I was crying at Monza last week. Yeah,
Monza. He beats the car and he gets out and he goes like this. It's like a kid been told he can't have candy, or whatever. But Max. See, Max, I don't like Max. Max is like Schumacher with his pushing it, the limits, pushing it, pushing safety. But you know what? He makes no mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, he can keep going when the car.
I really don't like the guy, but holy crap, he makes no mistakes.
I actually don't mind. I think his interviews are quite honest, to be fair. I think, in a lot of ways. Yeah. And he is respectful because when he was asked, time and time again yesterday about, what was his version of what happened, he was never actually disrespectful of Lando. He always, he never put it directly like that. He was there in that 100%. Way. Actually,
I agree with you.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It is great we're getting a race because we are motorsport fans, but we want a
Yep.
race. We want to overtake.
Absolutely.
We want
Yes,
because
having
the last
someone
2 years,
challenge
I mean,
Max
it's
is
been just
great.
dry as anything for the last couple of
But
years.
he is
So,
someone like Schumacher who will do anything to not come second.
yeah,
I don't like that. I don't like
What do
that
you
at all.
think?
But
Yeah, what do you think?
I have to hold on. I will answer your question. I have to say the guy is the perfect racer. He just his braking is perfect. His turning is perfect. Someone tries to overtake him. He's thinking all the time, what do I do? The guy, and you know, my hero is Fangio.
Yeah.
Second is Clark.
Yeah.
Third, I don't know, maybe Jackie Stewart, maybe Senna. Verstappen would destroy them all. He would literally destroy them all. Well,
And
no, because he has the skill. He has the skill, mate. But he has none of the emotional, like Jackie Stewart saying no emotion. He doesn't give a shit. He could be Lando Norris's best mate outside of the cockpit and then kill him in the race. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He literally does not care.
Yeah.
Honestly,
he's
he's probably, oh my God, I'm going to regret saying this, but he's probably the greatest racing driver that's ever lived. Oh my God, I really don't like him.
Well, that's your opinion. It's your honest opinion. So
no, it's not an opinion. It's not an opinion. This is the evidence-based things. My opinion is I hate the fucker.
He is very good, but I would have to argue that.
Holy shit!
Hang on.
What he done?
In the Hamilton era from 2000 and was it 14 when they got the new engines, and then right the way through, I think Hamilton showed a maturity there and good racing, and he was pretty strong racing. With Nico Rosberg, they had a lot of close battles with Rosberg, and of course they took each other off at Spain. As well, which is quite funny.
Did you know what Nico Rosberg did in his personal life to beat Lewis Hamilton? It's like, I have one goal in my life, and it's to beat Lewis Hamilton. No, you think I'm joking? I've seen interviews with the guy. He literally gave up everything in his life, everything, to beat Lewis Hamilton one time. That's why he retired. He's like, I've done this once, but I can't do this again because I have no life. I have destroyed myself. DC, David Coulthard, he had that massive crash in an airplane and it killed him. And he got a hell of a lot better because he focuses existence. He ditched his girlfriend and it focused his existence on a single point, which was winning the world championship. And McLaren screwed it up for him. He should definitely be a one-time world championship. Definitely. 100%.
Yep.
I've got interested in the psychology of this crap. Okay.
Can I wanted to.
It's like. Yes, you can.
Because I want to go over yesterday's race because it was a good race, and I wanted. There's a few other issues I'd like to raise on that, if that's all right. The relationship between George Russell, who of course won the race yesterday, and Lewis Hamilton, because they seem to really be battling it out, and Russell seems to be actually beating him quite a bit in the last few
repeatedly
few months.
Repeatedly.
Do you think? I mean, I don't think Hamilton has lost his touch, but I think he's lost a bit of his interest, or maybe just that little bit of that last kind of that gave him something special. What did Neil? You've been.
Neil,
please.
That comment from PC Specialist you can see there, Hugh. That's Cheech on a fake account. Just ban that.
Okey-dokey. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you right now, Neil. Who cares?
Yeah, everybody's getting rid of him.
Simply, who cares?
Yeah,
Neil.
So
Neil, mate.
my
Hold on. Stop. No, Neil.
Poor old Neil's never had a chance to say a word.
I can't get a word in.
Yeah, he'll get a chance in a second, but I'm not going to stand for this shit. Okay?
Go on, Roo.
Give a crap what people think about you. I don't care. I don't actually care what you've been through. I know you've been through a shitload, but it's irrelevant to me. You're on our show. You're a decent, good guy. Who gives a crap what some fucker says about? Okay,
to be honest, I
can take you to ribbing me, mate, but that's not a problem. That's not a problem.
I don't like going into it too much, but
you know, just fucking.
Yeah. I've drawn a line under it.
I'd rather hear your opinion. I'd rather hear your opinion and it be against mine than anyone just say whatever the crap that idiot said. So carry on, brother.
Well, we've banned it there, so because we don't want silly things being said that are just not appropriate or just.
It bothered me for a while. I won't lie. It did affect me quite a bit, but I've just drawn a line under it, and I've carried on, building the channel, and it's going in the right direction. So I've just left it all behind. Completely left it all behind. It doesn't. I'm not losing any sleep over it. It really doesn't bother me that some, sad little boy is sat in a room somewhere, having his jollies about trying to rib people on the internet. You're like, I've got better things to worry about than that. Anyway,
can I say as well? Sorry.
Back to what we were saying about F1.
Yeah, Russell and Hamilton.
I think there is probably an aspect of he's aware that he's moving to Ferrari.
Yeah.
And I think he could probably say until he's blue in the face that I will carry on, with whatever goal I need to carry on with until the end of the year. I don't think that's true. It sounds good on the telly, and the media department have gone, right, you have to say this, that, and the other. I don't think he's that interested. I think he's probably lost faith in Mercedes, and I mean he must have done. Otherwise, he wouldn't. If he had faith in Mercedes, he wouldn't be moving to Ferrari.
Yeah. Exactly. It's. I think he's just run out of steam a bit.
Yeah, and he's getting towards the age. He's getting towards the age where the thought of retiring is going to be somewhere in his mind.
Yeah.
And he wants to. I think he'd want to end it. He obviously wants the 8th world title.
Yeah, and I mean,
as anybody else,
I think it did.
You're going to put yourself in the best position possible.
Yeah. I mean, Mercedes, to be fair, they've cut their deficit probably by half in the last 2 or 3 races, which at least is something. So because they are now showing signs of some speed, but they're still clearly 3-4 tenths a lap slower than the Red Bulls and the McLarens.
They're not. I mean, they're not. They're not in the same ballpark as Red Bull. I don't.
But they've made a big jump because they were a second. I think behind.
Yeah. At the same time,
put them in that ballpark. I've got to say,
they've made an improvement. They must have done something right. Whether it's upgrades, who knows? But they've done something right, and they're fairly competitive again. I think.
Yeah.
Which, if I was Hamilton, I'd actually be quite worried at the moment because Ferrari are not doing well at all, and Mercedes seem to be on the up, as do McLaren. They're kind of.
Although I wonder if he's going to take more with him to Ferrari. I wonder if he goes there. Will the more of the engineers, more of the people that might.
Well, I don't know. They put a clause in the contract, didn't they, that he couldn't take anybody to Ferrari with him. which whether that's true or not, nobody's really confirmed it. But I think if I was
I
Hamilton, I would be worried at the moment because Ferrari seem to be going backwards and Mercedes seem to be going forwards, and that would be worrying me. I'd be thinking, oh God, have I made the right decision? I'd be absolutely crapping myself at the moment if I was Hamilton, because if it was me, I'd be thinking, I've made this massive announcement and I'm going to Ferrari, and hang on a minute, Ferrari going backwards. I'm going to look really stupid if this doesn't pay off. And also, he's obviously going to be aware that he's getting towards the end of his career. There's new drivers coming in. It's going to be harder for him because there's new drivers that are coming in. There's talent coming in from other, all these different angles. And he's got to not only uphold this kind of 8th, 7th world title, I'm going for the 8th kind of persona. He's also having to deal with all of this pressure.
Do you think, Neil, that he is particularly affected by image? I mean, he seems
massively.
to be, he seems to be embroiled in this sort of, I want to say, gangster rap culture.
He's got the Hollywood culture, isn't he? He's got the Hollywood. He's going to have to retire in Miami, isn't he? He's going to have to live in
I want to say Hollywood, Hollywood culture, but
it is a
gangster rap culture, the victim culture. I mean, he's a multi-millionaire who's apparently some massive victim of something. He sold his private plane to make it look like he
was looking after his
was environmentally friendly, but he's still
it's an interesting
private planes.
I think he's been pushed into that by a lot of the influences around him, and I think because he's not married, he doesn't have a family.
Is he been pushed?
Because I think,
if I told you to transition your daughter to be a man, would you do it?
Of course not.
Would you let Gracie be a man now? Right now?
No,
exactly. So pushed, fuck off. I'm sorry, but pushed.
Slightly different circumstance.
But I think the problem is that once you get into that culture,
peer pressure, and what you look like is universal. It's not a slightly different thing. This is the problem. This is the problem now. This is the problem. People think it's, we're just being kind, we're just being accepting, right. But if you got billions in your bank, why is Elon Musk considered to be such a threat to society? He's the richest man on the planet.
The thing is, though, nowadays, because it's
Twitter to a massive cost to himself to secure free speech. Okay. And then they go,
people don't go along.
It's not free speech because he allows people to speak. What? Wait a minute. What?
Hamilton, if he makes he's been quite careful, to be fair, not to kind of make himself look like a victim. To be fair, because he knows no one's going to believe him. They're in F1, they're multimillionaires. They're not. He's trying. Well, I know that there is a huge influence on him in terms of, I think, with the people around him, and he's put those people around him, which I think has been a mistake. I think even just 10 years ago, he was a different character.
Hugh,
he is very woke.
Or the year before, where he dissed his own town for being racist.
Well, that was the whole thing, at the time. It was the BLM rallies. He was getting involved with all of that. And unfortunately,
racist. No, come on, no, not having this.
If I can be honest,
he had a big thing about how disadvantages he was because he was racist. His man's white. His dad's black. His dad took 3 jobs to pay. I mean, they keep talking about, if you want to do motorsport, you don't need loads of money. Yeah, his dad literally sold his soul to try and get some kind of
yeah.
you need money. You just need money. You need money. You need money. End of story.
Yeah.
You need money. Doesn't matter how brilliant somebody is, you need money for these things. Come on.
I think the problem
I'm
is
not saying that
in
from
those
poverty.
circumstances, you can be very good at a sport. You can be amazing. You can be a world champion, renowned, but not necessarily great out with it. Or and I do think the influence of, if he had a wife and children, he might have a different perspective on how life works and these kind of things. I think a lot of racing drivers have experienced that as they've gotten older. Schumacher.
Come on.
No, but
been
it gives a different perspective in that way. I'm just saying that some drivers have that, and I think the problem is I don't think Hamilton has been handled that well. I think the people that have been put around him. I think at the early part of his career he was good, and he was really there for the racing.
Yes.
Absolutely, but then I think he's kind of, as he's gotten so famous, and obviously the wealth that goes with it, and meeting all these other people, and because he's from that particular culture, because he's made that a thing, so he's obviously been pulled into the kind of Hollywood kind of rap culture as well, and all that kind of thing, and the fashion of all of that, so that has been the influence, and so they influence him and say, oh, maybe you should do this, you must need to represent this point of view, and he's kind of accepted that without really seeing what it's going to do, because it was like the BLM thing.
The bubble. The Hollywood,
if somebody had confronted him,
the Hollywood bubble, okay, he's ended up in this bubble of people that are so cosseted. Listen, look, okay, I understand human nature. I've been around it a bit, and the worst types of it. Honestly, the best people in the world could end up in that bubble.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope that he would get a bit out of that,
and they would end up the same. Okay, so he's in that bubble. Anna Kendrick, I love Anna Kendrick.
I want to try and keep this
now. Nuts.
So, no.
And everybody else that's in Hollywood, everyone else that's in that kind of. Well, I think the problem is, bubble.
He's made that
everyone that's in that bubble,
Yeah. Can I say he's made that side of his
life? DC, who I love, he came from a very affluent middle class family with a haulage, like a freight haulage business and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So sorry, it's just like it's just.
Yeah, I think
all of them need to shut the fuck up, because once you're in Formula One, honestly, if you're in Formula One, immediately you're in the bubble.
Yeah. I think that's a bit. You've hit it on the nail. Can I say something, please?
You are earning hundreds of thousands of pounds
please?
A year.
Okay.
Immediately.
I'll have to mute you. The problem with Hamilton is that he's made that side of his public life far too public. And I think the others have been a bit more intelligent in the way that they've looked at it. Like Nico Rosberg, like Vettel, they've kept their private life private. They don't do anything. They're very, very careful who they talk to, who they do interviews with. They don't really get involved in all of that. They don't get so political.
What did Nico Rosberg's background? Hugh, the crazy thing is we're on the same side here. We're not actually arguing against each other.
No, I'm not
like one of these.
But I'm just trying to get to that point of why I think Hamilton isn't doing well.
Nico Rosberg's background. What was it?
Well, his dad was the GP world champion. I don't know what he did. I don't know what he did before. After his father was the GP champion.
Nico Rosberg was a world champion Formula One driver.
Yeah.
It's not like he came from some kind of like council estate. It's not like he was like.
But it's hard to say. But I think he's a phenomenal racing driver. But I don't think Hamilton is the brightest person for taking on public life.
Great communicator.
And I think that's now,
very important.
Yeah.
Hugely great communicator.
Yeah. But you know, that is a flaw everybody can have in terms of it's not. I'm just being honest. I think unfortunately now that has had such an influence on his life that is now taken away from some of the racing. And I think it's he made a real mistake. And when he got into the political side, I think it put a lot of people off because we were just reeling from Abu Dhabi. We didn't want another blooming. We got fed up with them taking the knee before the start of every race and all this stuff. That should be outside of racing. That should be, that's really their opinion or whatever. That's their. That should be out of it.
Sorry,
Let's race. Let's just make the race. I think that.
Now, the taking the knee thing. Who we're talking about now? The last thing
I got fed up. I have to say, I got really fed up. I used to skip it. I used to go to another channel when it was on the TV, when it was on Sky, because I was to get fed up with all that stuff that they did. I just wanted to watch a race. I don't want them to race. I don't want them telling us how not to race and how not to race and all this.
All the people on that grid are millionaires. All of them.
Yeah.
They have,
and it was crazy.
Security. They have a special representation in every situation they're in. They don't need to do anything themselves. Everything they do is done by somebody else. They do not interact with normal life. So when they sit their fucking knee on something, fuck off.
Try not to.
Honestly,
because this is going on a podcast too, so we want to try not to keep it family friendly. But yes, that's my interesting, because I think if they'd actually known, unfortunately, if they had known what they were representing, and the BLM were found out to be complete frauds, they were taking the money for themselves and buying mansions with all the money, and then they didn't even give it to the areas and the places, people that were running the actual.
I think
groups.
I think this is the difference. People talk about Hamilton being the best driver ever.
Yeah.
I think there's a big difference between being world champion and the best driver that ever lived. Because winning 7 world champions doesn't make you the best driver that ever lived. That makes you a 7-time world champion. Doesn't make you the best driver that ever lived, because the way that he handles things and the way that he races and everything that goes around it, I think that lets him down.
Yeah.
If you look back at people like Senna, people like Prost, people like Schumacher, Fangio, Hill, everybody, they were racing drivers that were there to win races. I get that Hamilton turns up and he's contractually obliged to wear certain clothing and to turn up.
Some of it is quite hilarious.
But, I think he's kind of, and you can't blame him 100%. But I think he's kind of been pushed into this. He's more of a media personality now than he is a racing driver, for me anyway. And definitely. I don't think there isn't really, they all stand there and they've like Rue says, they've got a lot of money and they wear the nice sunglasses and whatever. Yeah. But for me, everybody else turns up to go motor racing.
Yeah.
Hamilton turns up to be in the media and to be on the telly, do a little bit of racing. But mainly turn up. Everyone look at me. Look what I'm wearing. I look like a Christmas tree decoration. Whatever. The rest of them. Do you know what I mean? Though the rest of them don't really do that. Turn up in
he's going to look back in 20 years and they're going to think, "Oh my goodness, what did I do?" But what was I wearing there?
No, he's not, mate. No, he hasn't got the self-awareness to do that. He's not got the self-awareness to look back in 20 years ago. He can look back at self-awareness. 20 years, he can look back in 20 years and go, I was such a victim. He's got 200, 300 million in the bank.
Nobody's going to believe him. Nobody's going to believe him or have any time for that.
That's what's going to happen.
But he's not.
What happened this? He's going to look back in 20 years' time and see himself as a victim because he's not capable of seeing himself. Fuck's sake, you want a fucking doctorate, for God's sake. But I don't think go around saying that the world's taken my career away. I did it.
I can't imagine him looking back at it at all.
Did he?
He'll sit on his gold-plated toilet, looking at himself in the mirror, and he'll go, "Well, this is nice," and that'll be about as far as it goes.
Oh my god!
The thing is, you don't know, Ian. This is the thing. You see what's portrayed.
A private plane because the internet said I shouldn't have a private game.
You see what's portrayed on the telly. You see him the way that the media want to portray him.
Yeah.
And I think it's difficult to make an informed decision on whether he's there for racing or whether, and this is the main thing at the moment, I think he's kind of
I disagree with you.
His deal with Mercedes is, that's on the way out. He's now focused on this thing with Ferrari. I don't think, getting back to what we said originally, I think his mind at the moment is it's coming to an end with the Mercedes. I'm not going to win another championship with Mercedes. We're past that point. It's not going to happen. I'm now focused on Ferrari, 100%. And I would be the same. I'd be exactly the same if I knew I was going to Ferrari and I wasn't remotely competitive with Mercedes, although they have improved a little bit. I would be thinking, right, I'm off to Ferrari. So that's where my focus is going to be.
Oh, it'd be funny if he won a few races before the end of the seseason.
Wouldn't it? I just think it'd be hilarious if it gets to the end of the season and Ferrari are absolutely useless and Mercedes are winning everything again. Because he's going to look real stupid.
Well, because the regulations change in 2026, don't they? So it's all you've got a year to get it working.
Like, we're going to fix everything with the regulations, and then it's
Can
like,
you just imagine him being like, I'm sorry, sorry, Ferrari. Give me a minute. Toto, can I please come back? I'll be really nice. I'll rub your feet for you. Just can I stay with Mercedes?
If that Ferrari is a second slower than everybody else in at Melbourne in 2025, he's going to be absolutely
absolutely hilarious. I would love it if the first race of next year's season, Mercedes just bolt and disappear and Ferrari are at the back because
he'll have a press conference saying he's going to retire.
I'm going to let you into a couple of secrets, okay? I think Max is amazing. I think he's an incredible driver. I don't think it because I like him. I hate the fucker. He is a dirty driver like Schumacher was. But I've been watching comments about how he's like Schumacher. He's like this. He's not like Schumacher. He has more skill than Schumacher ever had. And Schumacher was amazing. Amazing.
Do you know who I would like to win the World Championship?
He may not have been the fastest. People keep comparing him to Senna. Because Senna
president, I reckon.
Senna brast into Prost specifically in the same way that Lewis bast into Max specifically to send a message. It was psychology. It was all about telling that person, not scared of you, I'll do whatever the hell. And that's why he nearly won the championship. And it was only the intervention of the FIA. And I mean that.
No,
that race is going to be something that is debated by F1 fans.
Was conspiring to stop an 8th World Championship. I don't give a crap. There's one statistic. And I was reading earlier tonight in preparation for this stream. There are two people that are up here in terms of one statistic which will never be eclipsed, ever. And that is percentage wins. Fangio is here. Ascari is here. And this, I was reading this utter nonsense going, Lewis Hamilton's beat them all with this. No, not even close. Not even within 10 or 15 points.
Yeah.
Fangio is like 47, 48% of race wins in F1.
Yeah.
Ascari, the son, not the elder. I can never remember which ones. It's Alberto, and there's the other one. Well, it is a little bit lower, but in terms of percentage wins, and if you go to the percentage fastest laps or fastest or poles, it's always Fangio. It's always Fangio. Always. But not by like a couple of percent, like modern things. It's 10, 15%. Boom. There's no comparison. There's just no fucking comparison. No comparison.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's different. It's different eras, though. So it's very. It's you can't compare.
Who's best.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't think you can. You know, I think because it's such an incredible history, and there've been always incredible characters. You know, being the drivers who have done incredibly well, but also have given it that charisma and that sparkle that we all look for in racing. You know, and it's yeah. I mean, there's SDS. I don't understand the hate for Verstappen. Maybe I'm biased because I'm not sure, but it's Harry from both sides. Yes, but I think you know. Their drivers are going to do things because they are desperate to win. They want to win. They don't drive to be second, aren't they?
No,
and I know they're going to do things. Hang on. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Hold on a second.
I know what you're saying.
Jackie Stewart.
But it's in my response to SDS's comment to you.
Jackie Stewart was asked when Schumacher used to bash people off.
I know.
And he said, "What happened when you bash people off in your day?" He goes, "We didn't do it because if you did it, they died."
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen videos where they actually assume that the psychology of driving was the same in those days.
And of course, it's different now.
Bullshit. They did not bash people off the track in those days because if they did, they were dead.
Yeah,
and they were all.
Well, that is true. And now, pretend there is that possibility that they don't see the danger in that now because the cars are a lot safer and
I have no idea.
So,
it's like people driving on the road thinking they're 2 foot behind someone because I
want to respond to SDS's comment because he was saying that
he's made a good point there.
Yeah. I do like Verstappen, and I think what he's done.
By the way, mate, how we doing?
Yeah, it's and we've got more to Hub as well, who's joined us. I do like Verstappen in the way that he's been able to, do what he's done, and you can see it was interesting because in Formula One, you never know when the next superstar is coming from, do you? You kind of you might think it's this person, you might think, oh, it's Alonso, or you look at the way the cars go, and then all of a sudden you'll get somebody else popping in, usually from somewhere that was least expected. Because take it on, Verstappen's father, Jos Verstappen, was not a great F1 driver. He was more known for his big crashes than actually.
He was still an F1 driver. Come on,
I'm saying, but he did a very good job.
He's not a great F1 driver, but I am a bronze on GT7.
No, I'm trying to make the point.
You're reliably a gold. You do not understand how I'm so slow. I know this. You're one of my best friends. You're one of my closest friends in the world. But you do not even understand how I can be so slow. All right? I am at best a silver driver. Even you acknowledge that. Okay? Mm-hmm. Jos Verstappen would wipe the floor with you and me together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever the hell is going on? He was an F1 driver. He's so fast.
I was making the point that
so fast. He is so fast compared with normal people.
Yeah, I was making the point that in F1 there isn't, sometimes a star comes from where we least expect it, or it's kind of in the sidelines, and then all of a sudden, I mean, you could
Yeah.
kind of see as soon as Verstappen proved himself in F1 by coming in so young that he was capable and more than able to compete. But we thought, hey, a minute, he's going to be a real challenger, and given the car, as the car gets more competitive, he's going to be right there. And sure enough, in the 2020, 2021, look how close those 2 years were between Hamilton and Verstappen. It was incredible. They were, I think, some of the best years we've had in recent history compared to when Hamilton was winning everything when the regulations changed. So it was great racing. And now, Verstappen's had his couple of years of domination and even the early part of this year, but now it's beginning to get closer.
That everyone's moaning about
yeah, but we want a race. We don't. But we want.
I think the thing is,
he dominated because he made the most of his
domination.
equipment.
Something new. There's always
Oh,
something
no,
new
I've
they're
done that.
moaning about with
But
the
it's pretty
domination.
boring watching races.
I have a different take on this shit.
Well, I know it's great to have a car that goes out there. Fair enough from an engineering point of view.
Yeah,
Making the most of it.
I actually
But
enjoy the fact that the engineering is so good.
Yeah.
But
as a fan, you want a bit of competition. You don't want someone just walking off with it and never having no challenge.
Just turn it into Indy cars. Who watches Indy cars?
Some reasonable racing. I know look, I loved it in the Mansell era when Mansell won. That's because I was so desperate for him to win. And so when he finally did it in '92 in a car,
he was in a car that was incredible, better than everybody else's. Yeah. Come on,
but he also made the most of it. Well, I watched earlier episodes with James Hunt saying that Mansell was always the only the kind of if man. He was almost if only he'd done a little bit better, he would have been there. But when he finally got into Williams, he managed to make it happen. In '92, he got the car sorted out, and he made and he was able to be complete enough to finish it.
I love Mansell, and I love him because he's a guy that was on a slab with a broken back trying to get a drive in Lotus. I love the guy because he's kind of like he's literally the warrior. If you could have like a game.
It's like a Nordic driver, isn't it? It's like a Nordic Viking.
4 or 5 games. Not a Nordic. Fuck you, twat. Even though I'm Nordic, Nordic, he is a sort of an ancient warrior with a big fuck off axe. He's like, whatever happens, I'm going to kill you. That's what Mansell is. And that's why, I honestly think that's why the British public got behind him in such a massive way. Damon Hill, they got behind Damon Hill more because of Mansell and his dad, not because he was any good. Honestly, if Damon Hill could be a world champion, then honestly, David Coulthard should have been a double world champion because he was twice as good as Damon Hill.
Aye. No, I'm afraid I'm going to have to quickly call it to an end because my wife has just walked past saying that she can't sleep because of all the noise that we are making on here. So we have been. It is 11:15 and 2.5 hours of ranting and raving, which has been good fun, and it has been. We've covered everything. We have covered. Wish me luck.
Hugh, press the mute button, mate. Just get it over with.
Well, I'm going to have to call it a night.
Seriously, I want to deal with this because this is an issue for me. Okay, I hate the terms hater, fanboy, phobe.
Where's that? Where does this come from? We got to this.
It's come, Neil, from the comments.
What comments?
We got rid of all that.
I don't understand. So this is SDS RR87. I don't understand the hate for Verstappen. Right. We don't hate Verstappen. Yeah. We don't hate anyone at all. This
I don't
is
think he's
not
aiming that
about
to us.
hate
I think he's
or
aiming that at kind
love.
of
This
Yeah.
is not a
general
fanboy
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is about talking about
Yeah.
racing. Racing
Yeah.
is the only thing that we care about. The
Yeah.
only thing.
Yeah,
I don't care
that's
who's
what I thought
racing
SDS meant.
or
Yeah.
how they're
Yeah.
racing. Well, no,
It's all right,
that's not
SDS.
true.
I know
Not
what you
how
mean,
they're
mate.
racing. How they're racing is cheating bastards,
Yeah.
I care about that. This is not the point. This is a discussion which we are allowed to disagree with each other about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Neil, Hugh, me cannot agree, and it's fine. So fucking get over yourself, wankers. Honestly.
Okay, try and keep it. Remember, family friendly, please, where possible. That is.
No, not at 22:47.
Yes, but this goes out as a podcast.
Go fuck
This
yourself.
video is
Don't
not being
give a
monetized
shit.
anytime soon, is it?
I gave up on that a long time ago. That,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna. It,
5-year-olds are watching this. Shut up. The point
yes.
is, if you don't
Everyone is
agree,
entitled to their own opinion, and we're
Yeah,
Put
100.
it in
Yeah,
the
I
comments.
100% agree
put
with
it in the
SDS.
comments
Just like to add that
with
bit.
a constructed, intelligent,
Yeah.
proper reason why. Okay?
My head hurt.
If you don't agree with us, or me, or him, tell us why. You
I think
never
they
know.
probably agree, but yeah.
Might
It'll be
actually
Yeah.
change
Drink
our
this.
minds.
Drink this
Because
water.
honestly, I've had my mind changed about 1,000 times because someone's come out with something that made sense to me.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Mhm.
Use that as a mode. Don't just insult us.
No, no
You
one's
just
insulted us. To be fair.
just don't
Nobody's
bother.
insulted.
We'll ignore you. Okay? Look at
Okay.
that body
As,
bastard.
As Clarkson would say, on that bombshell, it's time to end.
No,
It's true,
I'm
yeah.
not Clarkson. No.
I
I'm
know
not Clarkson.
you're not.
100%
But I
no to
am.
help. Yes, he
I
does.
am.
Yeah, I've been saying this for the last 2 hours.
Right.
Very
we have to go.
specifically
My
trying
children
to
will be up
get-
all night if I don't. Yeah.
I'm not
We will
doing
be-
that.
We will be back next week if you're brave enough to come back and join us.
Room
That,
or not.
Thank you to my guest,
Probably
Neil
the only
from Not
thing
That
where
Quick.
you'll hear
Thank you, everyone.
And
me and
Rue
him in it.
from Rue's channel from YouTube. And remember, Neil streams every day,
Every day.
on YouTube during ATC and during GT7. So make sure that you subscribe to his channel and support him. He's a great guest, and so is Rue. Next time we'll have him on the Caliber, and not on the one that Billy Connolly used to advertise.
You always you mean it.
Yep, no, that's the thing. They're all saying drink some water. That's the one thing we've all agreed on. So
yeah.
on that note, thank you very much for listening and watching and commenting and being with us tonight. It's been great to have all of your support. Have a fantastic
night, everyone.
week, and we'll be back very soon. Drive fast, but drive your bus even faster. Bye just now.